Know about the youth and people as a whole in our community, this is a trap. And what happens when a trap is set for you, you don't see the trap. And once you're captured into the trap, such as I was, I didn't even know I was in a trap because the things that I was trapped in was attractive. So we have to be mindful of what we do in front of others. People were doing things that had my attention, and it caused me to desire to be into what they were doing. And after doing so, and then got captured, it was like, this is a wonderful thing. I'm getting high, I'm getting money, I understand the language, but it's one thing that I didn't know. And that is that the trap was so powerful that once you get in it, there's an enemy and you have to do his will. And I was that person that came to my senses, as the word of God says, after you had come to your senses and escaped the snare, the trap of the devil, having been taken captive by him to do his will. So once a person is trapped, they're going to do his will. Now what we have to do is bring forth great information that's so powerful that they would miss the trap. Now after I was released from the bondage that I was in, I was told to go back to my community in which I had made so effective in the unrighteous path that people followed me, admired what I was doing, but I was in a trap. So I called so many people to be in a trap with me, and he's sending me right back out there to get the people that's still out there out of the trap. And that's my responsibility. And I've written a book that's entitled Still High, one of the greatest books that I think that could help our communities and get people back into the swing of what we really need. And that's my desire, and that's why I'm out in the streets. New Way Outreach Ministry is a ministry that reaches out. Don't be inside of the building. I'm outside where the people are that's hurting, that's crying for help. And my encouragement to the people that's in the church, come out of the building. You never know the importance
and so the idea of the book, Still High,
Yeah.
is to indicate that you are still high, but you're high on something outside of what you were generally high on, and the experience is greater,
Much greater,
with being still high than it was during the earlier parts of your situation. Is that what you're saying in reference to that?
That's what I'm saying, and it don't cost you a dime to keep this high once you learn about it. And it has so much information that the same enemy that captured me don't want nobody to get this book. This book been out since 2013, and I believe Nashville should be flooded with the book. If you want to see a difference, you never know until you try it.
And I think some of the problems that we're talking about here are not problems that are limited in terms of the African-American experience and the African-American male, because in a real sense, getting high in the other sense is a national problem now, which is to say that more people are dying of cocaine and et cetera than in automobile accidents and et cetera. And so I think what you have there as a book is something that is very, very valuable and needed in terms of the kind of situations that we find, not African-American males, but African-Americans, other groups, and all of them find the same problems, the same challenges, and et cetera. And so what we're going to do, Reverend Walker, we're going to take this second commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to start with you doing this last 10-minute segment and then go down. And we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. If they see things, they need a job, they need to have some money. And if you had some way of knowing on Saturday you're going to get $55 or $60 or whatever, you could do something with that.
That's true.
But
it's hard telling the teenagers, drop your gang flag, put the dope down, if you can't give them means to be able to provide. You know, it's hard to do.
And that's hard for me to understand that our leaders and state legislature folks can't even understand that it's much more cost effective to do it that way. But I don't know.
It's amazing how they go.
Well, anyway, Reverend, we're going to start with you when we come back during this second segment we'll have 10 minutes, and then you take about 3 minutes of it, and you take about 3 minutes of it, then we'll do the last couple of minutes, and then end it out for the day. But this is exactly, I think that this kind of information is people need to know this. I think people know it, but it needs somebody to come to pull it all together and make them understand that.
That's what it's about.
Just so many lives are simply being disrupted and destroyed in terms of what we're doing here.
It really is. It definitely.
And so, Pastor, we'll start with you.
All right.
Know what we're doing. Just pick it up and deal with how it's take about 3 or 4 minutes. So, Waller,
it's going to be.
Let the bishop close us out.
All right.
That what we'll put together.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be great. 30 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, I like this show. Thank you and welcome back to the final segment of the show for today. We're talking to Pastor Walker, Reverend Waller, and Bishop Campbell. Reverend Campbell.
Yeah, that's all right.
Hey, I'm a pastor here, I'm a reverend there, and I'm a bishop down there. By the time I get to the bishop, I forget who the bishop is. Next time, Bishop, I'll start with you. But let us start off, Pastor Walker, really by making some comments in reference to the topic that we're trying to deal with today. And I think all of us understand the tenor and the purpose of what we're trying to do here. And let's speak from that perspective.
Okay. You know, Dr. Haney, one of the things that Bishop Campbell touched on, and that you also offered some feedback into, we talked about the economics of it all. You know, we talk about one of the common denominators where people are that deals with the violence and the gang involvement, the